So, very warm welcome to all of you on the platform of Apti Plus. My name is Akhilesh, and we are meeting here for geography optional discussion, the strategy as well as pros and cons to opting geography for civil service examination. Yes, if we have the decision to choose any optional for this very exam, whether it is civil services or state PCS examination, optional is going to play a pivotal role in deciding the rank in the examination. Indeed, in UPSC also, you are going to have 500 marks that is associated with your optional subject. Choosing an optional, if you are having the background, then you can go with that very optional. It is easy. But sometime, mostly in case of UPSC examination, and that too for science background students, it is very hard to choose the optionals and which optional should be chosen so that they get catapult into the league, and that is called as Indian Administrative Service. That means proper IAS. If we talk about optional, any optional, if you get excellence in that, you are going to be in the league without any doubt. Any optional. And on that very basis, no optional can have a kind of discrimination. There are good optional, that is sociology, PSIR, even geography is one of the good optionals available to you. Indeed, while choosing the optional, sometimes you people are also baffled with the problem, which optional I should go for. For that, my advice is, what is your interest? First thing, that what exactly your interest is. If your interest is there in that particular topic, that particular subject, that subject can be prepared in length and breadth, and you can get excellence in that very subject. And if you get excellence, certainly you will get through this examination. So first thing is your interest. And the second thing which one aspirant should think of is going to be the fringe area of that very subject. How much in your general studies paper that very optional is going to be helpful. And the third thing is the availability of guidance as well as material. And the fourth and last thing is that the trend in UPSC, the kind of results in UPSC, how many final selections are there in UPSC. These are the four elements you should always see once you go for choosing the optional, irrespective of your stream. As I'm the student of geography, not the teacher, and I will always be the student of geography throughout of my life. And geography have given immense to me. Being a student of geography, I found some very, very fascinating thing that is in geography and UPSC preparation. I find this geography that so many domain of your general studies is going to be part of optional geography. It is not only talking about the marks of 500 that is for optional. Each optional is going to fetch that very marks. But once you talk about the fringe area of geography, you will get overwhelmed that in each paper, except paper 4 of general studies, in each paper, this geography is going to play pivotal role. If we talk about the fringe area, so in paper 1, if you see paper 1, approximately 100 marks you are going to have from geography. In paper 2, there is a section that is international relation. And that international relation is also going through the basics of geography, first thing, and we are also dealing with geopolitics of the world in the geography. That is part of political world geography. So whatever you are going through in international relation, you will get the essence, or you can say the entirety of that very international relation in geography. So in paper 2 also, at least you are going to have 40 to 50 marks, that is the fringe area which a geography student prepare just going through the preparation of option. And it is not the last thing. Let's see the paper 3. In paper 3, you are going to have science and technology, environment and ecology, disaster management, as well as your, what you can say, economy. And if you take economy as a subject, you will find agriculture, transportation, communication. These all are the intrinsic part of your economy. And you are also going to learn so many things related with this in agriculture geography, transportation, and especially in paper 2, that is Indian geography. That means the third paper is also having so much of overlapping with the optional geography. In paper 3, environment is going to be very important aspect, and there are 40 to 50 number are there which is allotted to environment and ecology also, and you are going to have question related with reserve, protection reserve, related with strategy, global warming, sea level change, and all that. That is actually dealt in environment and ecology separately. But I find everything as an integral part of geography. If you see the syllabus of geography, I have something for you. You will find all those aspects which is mentioned in your environment and ecology is going to be the integral part of your option. That means climate change, pollution, soil degradation, soil erosion, loss of biodiversity, conservation of biodiversity, impact of loss of biodiversity, how to avoid these impact, how to conserve this biodiversity, what are the strategy, in situ strategy, ex situ strategy. These all are the part of geography optional. So the person who is preparing for this geography optional is already preparing all those aspects which is part of your general studies. Don't believe me, nah? Just see the syllabus. And I have the syllabus of geography over here. If you see the geography as a whole in a syllabus which I discussed in the general studies class, try to see geomorphology, factor controlling landform, endogenetic, exogenetic force, origin and evolution of earth crust, fundamental of geomagnetism, volcanism, earthquake, plate tectonics, continental drift theory, okay, volcanicity, tsunamis, concept of geomorphic cycle, landform development. Was not this the part of your general studies topic? Indeed. This is going to be general studies study topic in your geography only. Okay, if you see the climatology part, that is the first paper of optional. In climatology part, you are going to have the idea of temperature, pressure, wind, tricellular meridional circulation. Then you will go for what you can say, local wind, seasonal wind, isn't it? That is part of geography. Okay. So if I say, means I'm not going to show all the points, but indeed I will show those points. That is actually the fringe area which you find in economic geography as well as economy. That is also part of environment as well as part of geography. That is also part of social issues or sociology. That is part of geography, like globalization, urbanization, migration. These are the things which you learn, which you discuss in sociology also, as well as part of social issues. Problems of urbanization, problems of urban area. What are the consequences of globalization? These are the things which you see in your sociology part, as well as social issue part. And that is the intrinsic part of geography. So many fringe area you will find that is actually going to help you if you prepare geography as a subject. It is, if you calculate, try to calculate it. If I say that approximately you are going to have Indeed, indeed, that is for prelims. Indeed, it is important. I'm not saying that is they are not they are less important. They are also important. But 35 question you are getting from geography section. So what is wrong in it? Indeed. Let me finish first, because we have divided that there is a geography question. If we talk about prelims now, so there will be some question from geography, there will be question from environment, there will be some question from agriculture, there will be some question that is pertaining to economy, some question on social issue. Okay. Suppose that geography you are going to have 15 question, environment you are going to have 18 question, agriculture 3 to 4 question, economy. I'm not saying that the entire economy question is related with geography, but there are questions related with agricultural economy, transportation. So suppose that 2-3 question that is related with the economy, which we discussed in geography. In the syllabus, I will show you economic geography. You will find over there. And suppose that social issue, there is question that is related with migration, the question related with what you can say urbanization, globalization, isn't it? And associated consequences. If these are the questions, say one question only, even then we are crossing the 35 question barrier. So my stand is what? These 35 questions, which is separated differently in prelims, is integral part of your preparation of optional geography. Okay. If I say environment, let me show you this biogeography and environmental geography. Try to see the principle of ecology. That means you require what exactly this ecosystem is, how energy flow takes place, what is the plant succession, the pyramids of energy, pyramid of biomass, pyramid of number, role of each trophic level, what the producers are doing, then the consumers are there, how the dependency is over there, how this decomposer is working in your biogeochemical cycle. These are the part you will discuss in environment and ecology. Not only this, pollution, global warming, climate change, ozone depletion. These are the part of environment and ecology. Try to read it. Environmental geography, principle of ecology, human ecological adaptation, influence of man on ecology and environment, global and regional ecological changes, global climate change, imbalances, ecosystem, their management, conservation, environmental degradation, management and conservation of biodiversity, sustainable development, environmental policy, environmental hazard and remedial measures, environmental education and legislation. Don't you think that we are going to read about Conservation Environment Protection Act, Conservation of Forest Act? These are the legislation which is part of the conservation strategy. And that is part of environment. We read it separately in prelims, but it is the integral part of your geography preparation. This is your syllabus I'm talking about. That means if you are preparing geography as a whole, so these things are going to be intrinsic. My stand is what? If you prepare this optional, that means you need not to prepare this environment for your prelims. And that's why, remember one thing, if you see the prelims results, more aspirants are qualifying prelims who is opting geography. The reason is not that more people are taking geography as an optional. No, not like that. People, whatever the people who are taking geography optional, they are 40,000 every year. And there are 40,000 students from Hindi literature also. But once you compare the mains data, you will find approximately 3,000 students are qualifying prelims. The hurdle of prelims is broken. Who is breaking this hurdle? Those who opt geography. Because geography is giving this 35 decisive lead. Suppose that if you are preparing, take PSIR as optional, and from polity, you are going to have 15 question. For polity, you are going to have, say, 15 question or 18 question. Take example of 18 question out of 100. This 18 question, the PSIR student will do, if he work hard, he can do 17 question out of this 18 question. And a normal student, if he is serious, hard working, at least 14 question he will also do. But what about those who are master in 35 questions? In those 35 questions, if you are hard working, certainly you can crack 30 question out of it easily. 28 question out of it. That means 28 question you qualified from this 35 question. ये minimum करोगे बच्चे, इससे ज्यादा कर सकते हो. मैंने minimum ले लिया. In that case also, you 28 question you will certainly do in your prelims, and 14 here. 42 हो गए. कितने में से? 35 plus 20, 55. बाकी के 45 में से 8 नहीं कर लोगे क्या? आपका prelims निकल गया सर. If you are having this geography as an optional, so these things which I talked about is going to be the intrinsic part of your preparation. And I'm not joking at all. मैं geography का student हूं, teacher हूं, तो मैं geography के लिए बोल रहा हूं. You need to find it out. उठा लो syllabus, पढ़ के देख लो. State PCS हो या UPSC हो. You really find those syllabus is going to be part of your general studies paper. ठीक है? अभी तो प्री की बात मैं कर ही नहीं रहा था, मेंस की बात मैं आपको बता रहा था. मैंने कहा आपसे कि ये तो रही बात प्रीलिम्स की, कि approximately you are going to have 35 question. Agreed or not? Agreed? If you prepare this, out of that 35 question, यार 28 तो कर ही लोगे, तो हो गया ना आपका प्रीलिम सिक्योर हो गया. That's why 40,000 people opting geography every year. For example, this is the last year data. Out of these 30,000, 3,000 is writing mains, and same was there with Hindi literature. Only 280 students are writing mains. Why this huge difference is there? I'm just comparing. I'm not saying that Hindi literature is bad. But the data supports that whosoever opted geography is going to have edge in prelims as well as mains. Whosoever have opted geography. ऐसा नहीं है कि भीड़ ज्यादा थी इसलिए, इससे कहीं ज्यादा भीड़ PSIR में है, इससे कहीं ज्यादा भीड़ आपको हिस्ट्री में मिलेगी. But if you see the number who are giving their mains is going to be high. This is just because you are going to have this much impact factor which is available in prelims, and you can crack the prelims easily. You understand? Try to see this environment, the entire environment you can see over here. Over here also in biogeography, genesis of soil, classification, distribution of soil, soil profile, soil erosion, degradation, part of environment and ecology. Desertification, part of environment and ecology. UNCCD, United Nations Convention on Combating Desertification. आप कहाँ पढ़ते हो? Environment and ecology में पढ़ते हो. That is part over here. Try to see. Distribution of plant and animal. Problem of deforestation. Is it not the part of environment and ecology? Okay. Conservation measures, social forestry, agroforestry, farm forestry, commercial forestry. That is part which you are dealing in environment. Okay. Wildlife, major gene pool centers. This is part of environment and ecology. So if you see this biogeography and environment and ecology, you are going to have the entire 18 question under your control. Those 18 questions which happen to be what part of environment and ecology. Indeed, we will go for current affairs section in this area also, because without current affair updation, this is just the body without soul. Okay, so the environment and ecology section is also going to be completed as a part of your geography. This geomorphology, climatology, oceanography, in the class I discuss all these things. You're over there. So this is part of your general studies geography. Leave this human geography for the time being. That is going to be pure geography. You need to prepare it. But yes, if you see this economic geography, world economic development, measurement and problems, इसको ऐसे कर देते, थोड़ा और बड़ा हो जाएगा. अच्छा, it is not responding. Okay, अब थोड़ा दिख रहा होगा आपको. Try to see. Population and settlement geography. Growth and distribution of world population, demographic attributes, causes and consequence of migration. आ गया social issue. Migration. Same migration वहां भी, ऐसा नहीं कि the migration is going to be changed in sociology. It is same migration. The social issue. What are the impact of migration? What are the factors responsible for migration? This migration is part. Over, under, and optimum population. Then population theories, world population problem and policies, social well-being and quality of life, population as a social capital. See the social issue part. You will find these area over there. And you are going to have question in mains examination, in general studies. Then, okay, the pattern of rural settlement. Then again, environmental issue in rural settlement. Again, environment will come. Hierarchy, urban, rural, these are the part. Urbanization, rurbanization, rural-urban fringe. That is also discussed in an economy part. Okay, regional planning, part of social issue. Regional disparity, poverty, women empowerment. कहां पढ़ते हो आप? यहां आपको मिल जाएगा. And read it. This is the syllabus. And this syllabus is encompassing at least 35 questions, promising at least 35 questions in your prelims. And let me calculate how many marks you are going to have in mains. तो पहले एक बार देख लेते हैं, अभी यहां तक चले आए हैं तो जरा इंडियन ज्योग्राफी पे भी नजर देख लेते हैं. So this is part of geography, physical geography. In Indian geography, you are going through, that is part which is discussed in general studies. Try to see resource, land, surface, groundwater, energy, mineral, biotic, marine resource, forest and wildlife resource and their conservation, energy crisis. So don't you think that in science and technology, there is a part that is called as energy, renewable and non-renewable energy, isn't it? So you go for this approach with a scientific temperament. But the fact is, we are moving from fossil fuel to renewable energy resource that is also going to be intrinsic in geography. So it is also giving you the entire domain of energy, the kind of energy you are going to have. Hydroelectricity, wind energy, wave energy, tidal energy, ocean thermal energy conversion, isn't it? Geothermal energy, these all you discuss in your science and technology part. And that is intrinsic to geography. Are you getting my point? I'm not saying that geography is going to be the best, but it is the most popular subject. And why it is most popular subject? Because it is encompassing in all the domain, most of the domain that is part of your general studies. Anyhow, you are going through all those part which is taught in your general study in different forms. Like agriculture. Agriculture से जो सवाल आता है वो अलग है क्या geography से? Nowadays people say कि this question is not from geography, it is from agriculture. मुझे बड़ा दर्द होता है, मुझे ये लगता है यार ये तो ज्योग्राफी का पार्ट था एग्रीकल्चर, आप इसे अलग क्यों करने लगे? हम सॉइल अलग कर लें क्या? आर यू गेटिंग माय पॉइंट? सो ठीक है, हमारे और आपके कहने से होता क्या है, सिलेबस आप देख लो, ठीक, उसके बाद आओ रीजनल प्लानिंग, रीजनल डिस्पैरिटी, ये मॉडल जो हैं बच्चे ये ज्योग्राफी के हैं, ठीक है, तो कुछ तो ज्योग्राफी पढ़ेंगे ही। उसके बाद फिर आ जाओ इंडियन ज्योग्राफी में, रिसोर्सेज वी हैव सीन, एग्रीकल्चर पार्ट ऑफ इकोनॉमी, एग्रीकल्चर अकेले उससे कहते कि ये सर एग्रीकल्चर का क्वेश्चन आप छोड़ दीजिए, डोंट क्लेम इट फ्रॉम ज्योग्राफी, ठीक है मैं छोड़ दिया, ले जाओ। सिलेबस तो नहीं चेंज करोगे ना आप, you can't change this syllabus, and it has been already written: agriculture, infrastructure, irrigation, seeds, fertilizer, power, institutional factor, land holding, land tenure, land reform, cropping pattern। कितने क्वेश्चन आए हैं क्रॉपिंग पैटर्न से, देख लो। इसी साल आपके क्वेश्चन जो था राइस, which of the nitrogen oxide and methane, these gases are coming from which field? The rice field was the answer, कुछ ऐसा क्वेश्चन था ना। So you can go this cropping pattern, agricultural productivity, agricultural intensity, crop combination, land capability, agro and social forestry, again it is repeated, green revolution, ecological implication of green revolution. If you remember the syllabus, I also talked about we will find green revolution, what are the positives, and also we will discuss the negatives. That is part of general studies, and here we are going for extensive study over here. Okay, farming, livestock resource, white revolution, aquaculture, sericulture, apiculture, poultry, pisciculture, olericulture, दुनिया भर के कल्चर आपसे पूछे जाते हैं। I'm not saying anything. It is you to read the syllabus and then decide. Okay. Then industry. Industry is part of economy. क्वेश्चन आएगा तो कहा ये इंडस्ट्री का क्वेश्चन है सर, आप कुछ मत कहो, ठीक है भाई मैं नहीं बोलता, ले जाओ इकोनॉमी में। आपके सवाल बहुत कम आते हैं, इंडस्ट्री वाले दो चार ले जाओ, एग्रीकल्चर वाले भी ले जाओ, तो अपना थोड़ा सा बैलेंस बना लो। ज्योग्राफी इज जेनरस, ठीक है। ट्राई टू सी इवोल्यूशन ऑफ इंडस्ट्री, locational factor of cotton, jute, textile, iron, steel, aluminum, fertilizer, paper, chemical, pharmaceutical industry, isn't it? ये पढ़ना है बच्चे आपको, और यही आप जनरल स्टडीज में पढ़ते हो ज्योग्राफी के, एंड दिस इज ऑल्सो द पार्ट ऑफ योर इकोनॉमी। यहां से क्वेश्चन है, आर यू गेटिंग माई पॉइंट? फर्दर ट्राई टू सी ट्रांसपोर्ट एंड कम्युनिकेशन, ट्रेड, रोड, रेलवे, पार्ट ऑफ योर इकोनॉमी, part of your geography. Cultural setting, well, this is something which you find correlation with social issues. You'll find so many things part of social issue over here. Settlement, regional development, again this regional development disparity that is containing so many things: drought prone area, flood area, command area development, desertification, इसमें आप देखते हो, ठीक है। पॉलिटिकल एस्पेक्ट आ गया, इंटरनेशनल रिलेशन देख लो, यू विल गेट द बाउंड्री डिस्प्यूट इन रिलेशन विथ अदर नेबर्स एंड व्हाट आर आवर स्ट्रेटजी, लुक ईस्ट पॉलिसी, लुक वेस्ट पॉलिसी। चाइना ने स्ट्रिंग ऑफ पर्ल किया तो हमने भी तो डायमंड नेकलेस पॉलिसी शुरू की है। वी आर ऑल्सो कंटेनिंग चाइना। वो हम्बन टोटा और गदर में अपने पोर्ट्स बना रहे हैं, तो हम उनके चोक पॉइंट पे जाके उन्हें चोक करने के लिए बैठे हुए हैं। इंडोनेशिया में बैठ गए हम। आर यू गेटिंग? सो दैट इज पार्ट ऑफ ज्योग्राफी एंड इट इज पार्ट ऑफ योर इंटरनेशनल रिलेशन, ठीक है। कंटेम्प्रोरी इशू जरा देख लो, तो कंटेम्प्रोरी इशू मैं पढ़ रहा हूं, इकोलॉजिकल इशू, इन्वायरमेंटल हजार्ड, लैंडस्लाइड, अर्थक्वेक, सुनामी, फ्लड एंड ड्राउट, एपिडेमिक्स, इशू रिलेटिंग टू इन्वायरमेंटल पोल्यूशन। कहां पढ़ते हो सर? इन्वायरमेंट एंड इकोलॉजी, ओके। चेंजेस इन पैटर्न ऑफ लैंड यूज, प्रिंसिपल्स ऑफ इन्वायरमेंटल इंपैक्ट असेसमेंट एंड इन्वायरमेंटल मैनेजमेंट, पॉपुलेशन एक्सप्लोजन एंड फूड सिक्योरिटी, इन्वायरमेंटल डिग्रेडेशन, डिफॉरेस्टेशन, डेजर्टिफिकेशन एंड सॉइल इरोजन। कहां पढ़ते हो सर? इन्वायरमेंट एंड इकोलॉजी। कह लो इन्वायरमेंटल इकोलॉजी अलग है, यही तो उठा के वहां लिख दिया है. That is intrinsic part which is discussed in geography and even in more, what you can say, profound way. Are you getting my point? Further, concept of sustainable growth and development, environmental awareness, linkage of rivers, river linking project, I discussed. That is part of your general studies. And in detail, we will go for that in general studies also. Globalization and Indian economy. पढ़ते हो ना इकोनॉमी में, लिबरलाइजेशन, 1991 रिफॉर्म, क्या हुआ उसके बाद, सारी कहानी यहां मिलेगी. So if you see the syllabus of geography, you will find that there are so many fringe area that is related with general studies paper. In your prelims, there are 35 questions. It is the minimum. मैं बेईमानी नहीं कर रहा. नहीं, जिस तरह से बाकी लोग बेईमानी करते हैं कि ये वाला एग्रीकल्चर का, ये ज्योग्राफी से हटा दो, अगर मैं वैसे क्लेम करूं एंड शोइंग दिस पेपर द सिलेबस, तो हो सकता है बढ़ जाए और बढ़ेगा ही. मुझे उससे लेना देना नहीं है. मुझे लेना देना इससे कि मेरे बच्चे क्वालिफाई हो, मेरे बच्चे रैंक लगाए. और ज्योग्राफी के बारे में जो रूमर इधर 2-3 सालों में चला है वो खत्म हो, क्योंकि स्टिल द फाइनल सिलेक्शन, if you compare the final selection, we are equal to sociology. Geography is equal to sociology. 94, 93 selection. This was means 93 was from geography, 94 from sociology. 120 selections from 121 selection from PSI. Till date, geography is going to give the third final selection, third most final selection. The matter is what? कि how many fringe area that is going to be part of your general studies. और मैं सीना ठोक के कह सकता हूं कि इस मामले में कोई भी सब्जेक्ट ज्योग्राफी के बराबर तो खड़ा ही नहीं होता, उसका आधा भी खड़ा नहीं होता. Not the half. This is for sure. And don't believe me. मत करो मुझे बिलीव. अपना जीएस का पेपर का सिलेबस उठा लेना और बैठ जाना, ये सिलेबस में दे रहा हूं, एक एक लाइन पढ़ लेना. फिर लोग कहते हैं कि अरे सर ज्योग्राफी का सिलेबस इज वेरी वास्ट. ठीक है, मैं मान लिया, चलो देयर आर 200 यूनिट्स इन ज्योग्राफी. In order to complete this entire syllabus, you need to go through 200 unit. इनको 200 भागों में मान लिया. And PSIR को, चाहे मैं किसी सब्जेक्ट का नाम नहीं लेना चाहता, नहीं, वो वाले टीचर मेरे दोस्त हैं, वो कहेंगे क्या सर आप क्या कर रहे हो. कोई भी XYZ कोई भी सब्जेक्ट ले लो, मैंने कहा कि 50% उसका सिलेबस है, जस्ट 50%, जबकि ऐसा नहीं है. आई एम ऑलवेज टेकिंग द मिनिमम. मैं एडवांटेज हर बार दे रहा हूं हर जगह. ऐसा नहीं है कि बाकी सब्जेक्ट में केवल 100 यूनिट्स ही होंगे, बट टेक इट 100 यूनिट. तो एक्स्ट्रा कितना पढ़ना पड़ेगा बच्चे? 100 यूनिट्स. 100 यूनिट्स आपको एक्स्ट्रा पढ़ना पड़ेगा एज कंपेयर टू अदर सिलेबस. अब जरा इस 100 यूनिट को अपने जनरल स्टडी के सब्जेक्ट से मिला लेना. यू विल फाइंड कि जनरल स्टडी में इस 100 यूनिट को पढ़ना है कि नहीं. दैट्स व्हाई इट इज वास्ट. That's why it is vast and it is. बड़ा है लेकिन बेहतर है, because it gives you plethora of diversity, जहां से आप एक साथ इंटीग्रेटेड तैयारी कर सकते हो. You can prepare it holistically. It is not only geography. As geography is having many domains, that is your society also, that is your international relation, environment and ecology is intrinsic to it, agriculture is intrinsic to it, industry, transportation, part of geography. That's why it is having the huge fringe area. Indeed, it is vast. Vast है भी इसलिए क्योंकि इसमें सब कुछ कवर भी हो रहा है. अब आइए बात कर लेते हैं आपकी प्रीलिम्स की. आप कह रहे थे ना प्रीलिम्स. मिनिमम 10 क्वेश्चन. अग्री करते हैं कि मैं पिछले कई सालों के पेपर खोलूं? इससे ज्यादा ही होगा, इससे कम नहीं होगा. सर 18 क्वेश्चन यू कैन गेट इन एनवायरमेंट एंड इकोलॉजी, इसके नाम पे आप लेते हो। 15 क्वेश्चन यू आर गोइंग टू हैव, दैट इज ज्योग्राफी, कभी कभी कम भी होता है। इसी में 5 क्वेश्चन और ऐड कर लेते हो जिसको आप कह देते हो एग्रीकल्चर। देर आर 4-5 क्वेश्चन दैट इज फ्रॉम दिस इकोनॉमी, that is economic geography, and there are 2-3 questions which is part of your social issue, that is actually we are learning in the geography also. So calculate it, यही खत्म हो गया, बाकी तो ये एडिशनल है। I'm just taking 35, that is the minimum out of this syllabus। केवल ये सिलेबस तैयार करके जाओ ना तो 35 क्वेश्चन कर ले जाओगे, केवल ये सिलेबस। आगे सुनो, चलो मेंस में चलते हैं। आपको लग रहा होगा मैं कन्विंस कर रहा हूं, आई एम जस्ट शोइंग यू द प्रॉस एंड कॉन्स। कॉन्स भी बताऊंगा। मेंस एग्जाम में, मेंस पेपर 1 100 मार्क्स, पेपर 2 एटलीस्ट 40 मार्क्स मिनिमम ले रहा हूं, पेपर 3 कितना समझते हो आप? इन्वायरमेंट से और इकोनॉमी से मिला के जो क्वेश्चन पूछे जाएंगे दैट विल बी एटलीस्ट ऑफ 50 मार्क्स। कितने हो गए? ये जनरल स्टडी, पेपर 4 में अपना कुछ नहीं है, इतना एथिकल तो बनना पड़ेगा, isn't it? अच्छा, बात करें ऐसे की, इसको जोड़ लें हम 500 में, किसी को कोई दिक्कत? 500 ऑप्शनल, 190 से जोड़ लेते हैं, इसी में है ये, उसी ऑप्शनल का ऑफशूट है। चलो ऐसे की बात करते हैं, कितना हो गया? 5 2 700, 700 ले लेते हैं यहां तक। 700 मार्क्स का गेम अभी तक हम लोगों ने देखा, आगे बात करते हैं। ये पेपर कितने नंबर का होता है बच्चे? 2 ऐसे आते हैं 1200 शब्दों के, 250 ऐसे देखा है कभी? ज्योग्राफी और एनवायरनमेंट से रिलेटेड कभी ना कभी कोई ना कोई ऐसे होता है, 1 या 2 पक्का होगा। इट इज हैविंग द बेसिस ऑफ ज्योग्राफी एज वेल एज एनवायरनमेंट, एग्रीकल्चर, सोशल इशू। इफ इट इज गोइंग टू बी देयर, certainly you can have at least 125। मान लो एक भी ऐसे आ गया तो ऐसे राइटिंग में इट विल हेल्प और नॉट हेल्प करेगा सर? जोड़ लें इसे भी, 825। चलिए इंटरव्यू में चलते। इंटरव्यू में जब जाते हो बच्चे आप, तो जो क्वेश्चन आपसे पूछे जाते हैं, द क्वेश्चन दे आर आस्किंग, दे आर नॉट स्टूपिड काइंड ऑफ क्वेश्चन। दे फर्स्ट दे सी योर डैफ, डिटेल एप्लीकेशन फॉर्म, और उसमें आप अपने प्लेस ऑफ बर्थ बताए होते हो, स्टेट बताए होते हो, जहां से पढ़ाई की है आपने वो बताया होता है। सो इफ इट इज हैविंग सर्टेन काइंड ऑफ रिलेटेबल थिंग, तो दे पुट क्वेश्चन लाइक इन विच डिस्ट्रिक्ट फ्रॉम यू, विच डिस्ट्रिक्ट यू आर फ्रॉम। आपने बताया, मान लो वो डिस्ट्रिक्ट इज हैविंग सम रीजनल डिस्पैरिटी, बैकवर्ड डिस्ट्रिक्ट है। अगला क्वेश्चन होता है, व्हाट आर द कैरेक्टरिस्टिक फीचर ऑफ योर डिस्ट्रिक्ट, योर एरिया आपने बता दिया, हाउ यू विल इंप्रूव दोज एरिया, दोज प्रॉब्लम्स, हाउ यू विल मेक पॉलिसी टू कंटेन दोज प्रॉब्लम। दैट मीन्स sometime, I'm not saying always, but sometime your DAF, detailed application form, is giving you the plethora of questions, and those questions mostly related with geography and society. If you are the student of geography, certainly you get substantiated with all the fact file associated with that topic. You know that what should be your, what you can say, approach to solve all those problems, isn't it? So this is how you will be helped in interview also. Not only interview, after selection, Once you are the student of geography, you know your country well. You have the geographical information system in your mind. You know the culture, language, festival, their tradition. That means you have a sense of belongingness to any part of your nation, any part of your nation. So being a student of geography, when I roam in this country ना, मुझे कहीं ऐसा नहीं लगता कि मैं अपरिचित हूं, कहीं भी. In Odisha also, with same zeal, I come here and I usually go to the streets और कहता हूं कि यहाँ का स्ट्रीट फूड क्या है. तो पीठा मिल गया मुझे कल. पिछली बार पीठा जो मिला था दैट वाज स्वीट पीठा. इस बार उसमें वेजिटेबल था. मुझे लगा मोमोज से तो बहुत अच्छा है ये एंड हेल्दी भी. So I appreciate this because I'm the student from geography. So I have a belongingness. I feel linked with Odisha, linked with Andhra Pradesh. Without knowing their language, I can interact. Without speaking a word, I can communicate. And you can also. Once you have this idea, the clothing over there, कोई धोती पहन के अगर आ गया तो आपको ऐसा नहीं लगेगा ये क्या बात है यार. Because you know that it is the culture and tradition. They are having that and they feel pride to have that. ये तो मतलब अंग्रेजों का दिया हुआ है पैंट शर्ट. Otherwise, how comfortable that dhoti kurta? And this dhoti kurta is part of our attire because we are in tropical country. We are in a tropical condition. So we must have such cloth जहां से proper aeration हो सके. Are you getting my point? So you will get this kind of interaction with the people if you have the understanding of their culture, tradition. I get the chance to go Imphal, Northeast, and the students are very reserved for North Indian people because they are not sinking very much because उनको लगता है कि there is some hindrance. और हमें ये लगता है कि वो हमसे बात नहीं कर रहे हैं तो हम क्यों बात करें. But the thing is, they are homo sapiens, you are homo sapiens. So interact. And after interacting, you will mesmerize to know that every student, मतलब क्लास के बाद मैं वहां बोर्डिंग था, तो मैं रात को 9 बजे तक क्लास के बाहर हम लोग बैठते थे पार्क में एंड वी कंटिन्यूअसली डिस्कस अबाउट द आंसर राइटिंग प्रैक्टिस. Not only for UPSC, but for state PCS, CAPF and CDS also. जहां भी मेंस आंसर राइटिंग करनी है, घंटों बैठ के हम लोग बात करते थे. And I also enjoyed that. So why I get synced with them? Because I was aware with the fact they feel a little bit alienated. So I must be the starter. I must initiate the बातचीत. और जब बात होती है तो कोई भी बात बन ही जाती है. So this kind of approach you will have, and this approach will help you in administration. Not only this, the coming time is a situation which is encompassing through the global warming, the global climate change. And you are going to formulate those policies that will withstand today as well and after 50 years from today. Because you also know that in Conference of Party 26, India pledged for resilient infrastructure. This is the initiative to develop resilient infrastructure, and it is initiative by India. If you read the Conference of Party, and there are some declaration as well as initiative. One of the initiative is to develop resilient infrastructure. Resilient infrastructure means कि अगर global warming अपने maximum level से ज़्यादा हो गई, तो how come we will get adapted to it? So we must have some resilient infrastructure. Because we have certain data that is giving granular data of IPCC, 6th report. 2nd report, it is talking about that Odisha is going to be the worst state hit by the cyclone. मैं डरा नहीं रहा हूं, मैं आगाह कर रहा हूं. Once you have this idea that my state is going to be hit by the cyclone, so you will always work to create a kind of infrastructure that will help to prevent the cyclone, as well as prevent the loss of life. तो क्या करोगे? अर्ली वार्निंग सिस्टम होना चाहिए, मैंग्रोव के स्ट्रेच लगा दोगे, स्पीड ब्रेकर रहेगा भाई, आ जाओ साइक्लोन देख लेंगे। आर यू गेटिंग माई पॉइंट? सो व्हेन यू हैव दिस काइंड ऑफ टेम्परामेंट, when you are having the idea of environment and ecology and geography, isn't it? Suppose that you are a district magistrate of any area. For example, there is a mountain, this is mountain, no? And you are going to have this glacier, and this glacier is feeding a river. This is what? River. Glacier on mountain melting, and there is a river. And once there will be river, you know, this valley of the river is going to be the most fertile stretch. और जहां soil fertility होगी वहां लोग आएंगे. They will perform agriculture, they will sustain there, they will live there. तो यहाँ काफी लोग आ गए होंगे कि नहीं, बताओ? There are settlements, agricultural fields, more population density over there. And you also find that this glacier, after 25 years, will vanish. खत्म हो जाएगा क्योंकि ग्लोबल वार्मिंग हो रही है. And you are the district magistrate of this very area. तो district magistrate of this very area will work for today. But district magistrate of this very area, from geography and environment perspective, will also see this 25 year. कि उसके बाद क्या होगा? After 25 year, what should be our stand so that I can ensure life of these people? क्योंकि ये नदी तो नहीं रहेगी, तब क्या करेंगे हम? So what will be the future policy? Who will take decision better? जो इन्वायरमेंट जानेगा या जो नहीं जानेगा? हिंदी लिटरेचर वाला ले पाएगा क्या? सोच के बता. खुली चुनौती और हिंदी लिटरेचर नहीं ले पाएगा. वो साहित्य का बंदा है, वो कहेगा भगवान का भजन करो सब ठीक होगा. बट द थिंग इज, भगवान आपके भरोसे बैठे हो तो क्या काम कर ले. तुझे इसलिए भेजा था कि वहां पे एफॉरेस्टेशन कर ले, कमांड एरिया डेवलपमेंट, गो फॉर कमांड एरिया डेवलपमेंट, कैनाल बना लो, डैम बना लो, रेन वाटर हार्वेस्टिंग कर लो उस एरिया में. सबको बुलाओ और कहो कि सबके छत पे रेन वाटर हार्वेस्टिंग सिस्टम होना चाहिए, नहीं तो मैं देख लूंगा अगले दिन. चेंज द एंटायर लैंडस्केप, गो फॉर एफॉरेस्टेशन. Who will do? The district magistrate, aware of the thing that after 25 years there will be crisis, and the crisis is inevitable. और उस समय यहाँ पे सस्टेनेंस देने का जो काम करेगा, वो कौन बनाएगा पॉलिसी? लाइक अभी पॉलिसी की बात करें तो मनरेगा आपने सुना है, कोई सोशियोलॉजी पढ़ने वाला ही तो बनाया होगा, जो जानता होगा कि समाज में अगर इफ वी क्रिएट दिस काइंड ऑफ पॉलिसी, तो आज वो कितना खुश होंगे जिन्होंने बनाया है, जिन्होंने ये क्रिएट किया होगा कि यार मेरी पेन से जो शब्द निकले थे, दोज वर्ड्स आर गिविंग ब्रेड टू मेनी फैमिली. तो आप खुश नहीं होगे क्या? So these are the policy decisions, and the capable people can only take those policy decisions on their own. And these initiative, if it is going to be 25 years, these initiative has been taken today. क्योंकि इतने बड़े सिस्टम में इतना बड़ा चेंज लाने में इट विल टेक टाइम. आप लोगों को बाएं तरफ चलना सिखाने में कितने दिन लग गए? अभी भी लोग नहीं चलते, सड़क पे देख लीजिए. So you require the knowledge for administration also, and for that matter also, geography is not less than any subject. It will give you entire understanding of your geographical information, understanding of your culture, trade, practice, transportation, communication, industry, understanding of your population, demographic dividend. सबसे बड़ी बात तो बताना ही भूल गया. We are the youngest country. We have the youngest population. और अगर इसे चैनलाइज कर गए ना, तो जो विश्व गुरु का सपना है वो साकार कर लिए, और नहीं कर पाए तो मुश्किल भी होगी. So who will create the formula, who will formulate the policy? The person who is aware of all these things. Person from sociology, person from geography can have the understanding of society. English literature wala. This is how it is. And I'm not saying, believe me, कभी भी किसी के बताए हुए बात पे भरोसा तब तक मत करना जब तक कि रेशनल ग्राउंड पे वो चीजें सही ना प्रतीत होती हो. तर्क करना, ऑलवेज आर्ग्यूमेंट, गो फॉर इट. सी द सिलेबस ऑफ योर जनरल स्टडीज. इंटरव्यू में जो बातें बताई, कोई नहीं पूछता कि आप गाड़ी में जा रहे हो और आपके साथ आपकी महिला मित्र और 10 गुंडे आपको घेर लिए तो आप क्या करोगे. दीज आर सिली रबिश क्वेश्चन. ऐसे क्वेश्चन नहीं पूछे जाते यूपीएससी इंटरव्यू में. ये यूट्यूब वाले बवाल मचाए हुए हैं. नो, नॉट लाइक दैट. दे आर जेन्युइनली आस्क्ड क्वेश्चन एंड दे आर जेन्युइन क्वेश्चन. ठीक है. दे विल आस्क, यू बिलोंग टू कोरापट, व्हाट आर द प्रॉब्लम ऑफ दैट वेरी डिस्ट्रिक्ट. आप बताओगे प्रॉब्लम. Okay, how you will improve this? Give me some idea about that. फिर आप कुछ बताओ, कहेंगे ये तो किताबों में लिखा है, आप अपने से क्या सोच पा रहे हो. Are you getting my point? So you must have that kind of free thinking. ऐसा नहीं कि किताब में ही जो लिखा वही. हम भी तो लिख सकते हैं. किताब किसने लिखी? Human being. So हम भी तो कुछ अच्छा सोच सकते हैं. So all these things you are going to have geography as an optional. It is you to decide. But decisions should be made on the very basis of rational grounds. See the previous year question paper and then go for your decision. First thing. अब बात करते हैं हम लोग. सिलेबस हो गया, इंपॉर्टेंस हो गया. कॉन्स में सिर्फ यही है कि ये बहुत बड़ा सिलेबस है सर, टाइम लगता है, लेकिन इट इज अ सेमी साइंटिफिक सिलेबस. सेमी साइंटिफिक दैट मीन्स इट हैज द प्रॉस एंड कॉन्स. सामने दिख रहा होगा. गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया एक्ट 1935 की तरह आपको याद नहीं करना होगा कि एक भी पॉइंट मिस हुआ तो प्रॉब्लम है. देयर इज प्रॉस एंड द कॉन्स, देयर इज कॉज एंड देयर विल बी इफेक्ट. द कॉज एंड इफेक्ट वंस लर्न्ड इज नॉट गोइंग टू चेंज. अब ये बताओ, इफ यू लर्न दैट देयर इज हाई टेम्परेचर, तो जहां हाई टेम्परेचर होगा वहां प्रेशर लो हो जाएगा सर. क्यों लो हो जाएगा? क्योंकि हवाएं गर्म होंगी तो एक्सपैंड करेंगी. दिस इज एयर. वंस हीटेड इट एक्सपैंड. और एक्सपेंशन होगा, थोड़ा सा साइंस इन्वॉल्व करो. एक्सपेंशन होगा तो वॉल्यूम इंक्रीज करेगा. वॉल्यूम इंक्रीज करेगा तो डेंसिटी डिक्रीज करेगी, बिकॉज मास इज नॉट गोइंग टू चेंज. सो डेंसिटी डिक्रीज करेगी यानी हवा हल्की हो जाएगी. तो हल्की हवा ऊपर जाएगी कि भारी हवा ऊपर जाएगी? हल्की हवा. तो हल्की हवा जब यहां से ऊपर उठेगी तो यहां जो प्रेशर होगा वो लो प्रेशर हो जाएगा सर. अब यही देखते हैं, लो टेम्परेचर कर लो, देयर विल बी थर्मल कॉन्ट्रैक्शन, एयर विल बिकम डेंसर, एयर विल बिकम हैवियर. तो वहां हवा क्या करेगी? सिंक करेगी. तो यहां जब हवा सिंक करेगी तो यहां हाई प्रेशर होगा. तो हाई प्रेशर और लो प्रेशर हो तो हवा हमेशा चलती है फ्रॉम हाई प्रेशर टू लो प्रेशर बिकॉज ऑफ प्रेशर ग्रेडियंट फोर्स, पीजीएफ. एक बार समझ लिए तो जीवन में क्या दोबारा समझने की जरूरत है सर? वंस यू अंडरस्टैंड दैट देयर इज प्रेशर ग्रेडियंट फोर्स, then the wind will blow from high pressure to low pressure. Where will be the temperature, the relation between temperature and pressure, if you understand? That's it. So there is cause and there is effect. And on the very basis of this cause and effect, if you understand geography, need not to remember the fact. At least in UPSC, you are not going to have the fact. You just have the concept clarity. You are at par. And if you remember the fact, so ये सोने पे सुहागा हो जाएगा. और आप remember कर लेते हो. Because once you go through the concept, you will get some examples every time. We also go for location. And the location part is part of paper 2, that is Indian geography. And this Indian geography is also going for including the contemporary issues, the current scenario. So knowing India, knowing location, and 20 number question is from your location. For that, you need to go through the atlas. And out of those 10 places, easily you can go for 7. And those 7 places, if you are writing and showing it on map properly, you are going to get maximum marks. तो 20 में से अगर आप क्वेश्चन सॉल्व करते हो तो यू आर गोइंग टू हैव, पूरा कलेजा निकाल के रख देते हो तो यू आर गोइंग टू हैव 50% मार्क्स. And once you are going to have location and you are solving the 50%, even then you can get 40% marks out of that. And if you are going for 70%, 60%, 65% marks can be achieved. Then a 1 mark is going to be decisive for your selection for proper IS as well as painful IRS selection. Those who get selected in IRS just from the margin of 1.5 marks, 2 marks, try to ask, कैसा लग रहा है? कहेंगे भाग जाओ यहाँ से, मत पूछो हमसे. Because the difference in service is going to be huge, massive. Service है तो IAS है. बाकी की बात नहीं कर रहा. तो अगर IAS बनना है, so this will certainly help you in all respect. Okay, so it is what the nature of the subject. And in general studies, in these classes, you will understand the kind of knowledge you require. Some basic science is required. That is part of your general science also. उसको तो मैंने छोड़ ही दिया. Science and technology से केवल मैंने energy लिया. There are part that is also dealt in your geography. Understanding of this geography, you require many basic, what you can say, principles of the science, physics as well as chemistry. When we talk about weathering now, so this weathering is including physical weathering and chemical weathering. Landform development जब पढ़ेंगे हम. So there are certain chemical reaction which is going on and which is responsible for disintegration of the rocks, like carbonation, hydration, isn't it? Formation of carbonic acid and solution, leaching. So many action that is including the chemical reaction over there. So you are going to have some tinge of chemistry, some understanding of chemistry. That's why I'll always recommend to go through up to class 10th level of science before opting for geography. At least this much knowledge you should have. Irrespective of stream, up to 10th level science सबने पढ़ी है. उतनी understanding आपकी होनी चाहिए. वो पढ़ना होगा. NCERT. Start with class 6th NCERT. If you are planning for it, whatever the time left for in starting the class will be started. उस समय में आप class 6 to 10th तक की NCERT खत्म कर लेना. That will helpful. पक्का आपको help करेगा. अब हम बात करते हैं. Syllabus we talked about, fringe area we talked about. Let's talk about the books. किताबों की बात करें. So if you see this first part, physical geography, आपको मेरी तरफ से क्या मिलेगा? मेरी तरफ से पहली चीज मिलेगी वो होगा class notes. And this class notes is entirely in my language. And you know that the kind of dictation I used to do in the class. The entire thing will be online and I will write. What do you say? That prepared notes will be given. वो तो मिलेगा ही आपको. सर लेकिन आप rely on करना टेक्स्ट बुक पे और क्लास नोट्स पे. पढ़ना उसको भी, that is also the part, वो तो देना है. लेकिन the thing is कि you have developed better understanding once you go through the class notes. डिक्टेट कराएंगे. क्लास में जब मैं करता हूं तो ऑनलाइन होती है क्लास, सो साइमल्टेनियसली जो बैच चल रहा है उसमें भी आप बात करिएगा. सो आई ऑलवेज राइट ऑल दोज थिंग विच आई स्पीक. तो आप साथ में नोट्स भी बना सकते हो, साथ में अंडरस्टैंड कर सकते हो. एंड आई ऑल्सो गिव दोज पीडीएफ फॉर्म, ऐसे जैसे मान लो इस पे जो बनाया है इसको सेव करके आपको भेज भी देता हूँ कि अगर कुछ छूट गया हो टुडेज क्लास, सो यू कैन मैनेज दैट. अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट we also give you the printed notes. And the most important aspect is going to be the books, the reference book, which is going to be important. And let's start the reference book. And for paper 1, the best book is going to be Physical Geography of Savindra Singh. Physical Geography of Savindra Singh. And fortunately, he is my teacher also in Allahabad University. So Physical Geography of Savindra Singh, you will go with this. And this Physical Geography of Savindra Singh include the geomorphology section, climatology section, and oceanography section, even environmental geography also. This will be your reference book, but I will also suggest one more book, that is of P. Dayal. You can purchase any one of it. In class notes, you will find there are some discussion which is part of geology. I am taking some geology book as a reference book for preparation of your class material. Like there is geology book, Physical Geology by G.B. Mahapatra. वो मैं आपको recommend नहीं कर रहा, वो मैं खुद पढ़ूंगा. And I will get back to you in form of class material. Because there are so many things that is not understandable even in this Savindra Singh as well as P. Dayal. That is something which is part of current affair research. That is part of your research papers. So leave that part to me. I will get back on it. And in the class, you are going to have those material. Like आज या कल मैंने बात की थी ना, role of coastal canal in containing water search. Yes, ये किताब में अभी नहीं आया है, आएगा तब तक हो सकता है यूपीएससी पूछ ले. So this will be discussed. ऐसे बहुत सारे चीजें होंगी जो we will discuss over there. So this book is going to complete your this 5 sections. Not only this book, I also discuss many things from environment and ecology book. That is part of my journey in my post-graduation. I'm postgraduate in environmental science. Okay. So I'm postgraduate in environmental science as well as geography also. So I will give you some insight and scientific explanation from E.P. Odom. That is the book which is discussed or which is taught in your, what you can say, post-graduation programs. That is a reference book for the research material. So I will bring some part of class notes that will discuss this environment and ecology. As I said to you in the class, why we want to conserve biodiversity. The reason is not merely कि हमारा आने वाला generation शेर देख ले. बताया था ना? So that is the line which is written in the environmental science book. It is not only that कि new generation can watch the lion. New generation can exist over there. That's why we want to conserve this biodiversity. This is how we will go for this. So एक या दो किताब आपके पास होनी चाहिए, बाकी की जिम्मेदारी मेरी है. Then human geography. One book you should have. This is Majid Hussain book. Majid Hussain, Human Geography by Majid Hussain. You can take this book and you go through it. You will find so many aspects which is part of this book, and you will read it. I will also discuss it, taking role of research paper as well as other books. I'm not recommending other books at all because it is not going to be fruitful for you. आपने सजा लिया इतना सारा किताब, फ्रस्ट्रेट होंगे. तो एक किताब आप रखिए माजिद हुसैन की ह्यूमन ज्योग्राफी के लिए. ठीक है बच्चे? Okay. Models and theory. Again, you can go with the Majid Hussain book. Models and theory, and this is best book for it. This models and theory. Once you go for models and theory, third book is Majid Hussain. Majid Hussain. ऐसे पतली सी किताब है. So third book is also of Majid Hussain, that is Models and Theory. And the rest of the population geography I will discuss, that is part of Census 2011. And there are many statistical analysis. And those statistical analysis, I did it on my own, as well as there are some research paper from where we have a kind of some, what you can say, inferences. And those inferences can be put in your answer as a way forward. So you will get some more recent research data over here, and that is my part. I will discuss that in the class. I will dictate it. तो यहाँ भी आपको complete research मिलेगा, the new data and the research based on those new data. You just need to have this models and theory only. So models and theory. For regional planning and concept, I will recommend that you rely on my class notes. But if you have a tendency to read more, so there is a book which I find very beautiful book, that is R.P. Chandana. R.P. Chandana. This is the book that is related with regional planning. Regional planning. R.P. Chandana. This is going to be the fourth book. Huh. Yes, there is model and theory over here. यहाँ देखो. As well as settlement geography. दोनों के लिए ये माजिद हुसैन काम करेगी. ठीक है. और आपने एक माजिद हुसैन की और किताब ली हुई है, ह्यूमन ज्योग्राफी की, उसमें भी दिस इज द पार्ट. सो कुल मिला के अभी तक मैंने 4 किताब बताई है, 4 बुक्स. एंड फॉर इंडियन ज्योग्राफी आई रिकमेंड 1 बुक, बट अगर बहुत मन करे तो एक और किताब है, दोनों ले सकते हैं. एक तो डॉक्टर खुल्लर की है, डॉक्टर खुल्लर, इंडियन ज्योग्राफी. इट इज सफिशिएंट एनफ. मन करे तो आरसी तिवारी सर की भी किताब आप ले सकते हैं, इंडियन ज्योग्राफी, एंड यू विल गेट एवरीथिंग ओवर देयर. इंडियन ज्योग्राफी, आरसी तिवारी and Khuller. There are few chapters which is beautifully explained in R.C. Tiwari, like drainage, industry, agriculture. बहुत अच्छे से दिया है. And there are few chapters that are beautifully explained in Khuller. तो वैसे तो मैं कहूँगा एक भी ले लो, काम चलेगा, क्योंकि बाकी चीजें I will replenish. But if you want to have, तो ये दोनों किताबें आपकी अलमारी में होनी चाहिए आपके ज्ञानवर्धन के लिए. Always go through the textbook. Authentic textbook. That will give you perspective, more perspective. आपको आसपास की स्टोरी पता होती है. क्लास नोट्स क्या है? The most important points. And books, the entire story. So most important point will be assimilated more rapidly once you know the entire story. So always go through the books. मैं कभी नहीं कहता कि जो मैं पढ़ाऊंगा उससे तुम्हारा सिलेक्शन हो जाएगा. नहीं. I will give you the direction. You need to read those textbooks. I will try to complete the entire syllabus, but that will be the most important discussion. But less important will be there in the book. And once you prepare your book, you read your book and then listen to me, or after listening me, you read the book, then the impact of learning is going to be enormously high as compared to only going through the class notes. इसीलिए मैं printing, जो printed notes होते हैं ना, उसके खिलाफ हूं, क्योंकि प्रिंटेड नोट्स आर द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट्स जो निकाल करके दे दिया गया. अब आप ही बताओ, आपने एक किताब पढ़ी, यू रीड द बुक एंड देन यू मेड द नोट्स, और आपने कहा मैंने बहुत अच्छा नोट्स बनाया, क्योंकि आपने वो किताब पढ़ी है तो वो नोट्स बहुत अच्छा आपको लग रहा है. लेकिन द पर्सन हु इज नॉट रीडिंग दैट वेरी बुक फॉर एनी टाइम, उसको आप वो नोट्स दे दीजिए, वो कितना कर पाएगा, कितना सीख पाएगा? So the thing is, if you read the textbook and then read the notes, your learning will be many-fold more. Because those notes are going to be the main point, that is the gist, जिसको कह लो अमृत, सोना है. और जब नोट्स पढ़ लोगे और किताब भी पढ़ लोगे तो सोने पे सुहागा हो जाएगा. Isn't it? That's why the role of the textbook are prevalent. We can't ignore it. If anyone is saying that my notes, these books only, my class notes only, तो ऐसी ये गलत बात है, ऐसा नहीं कहना. मैं नहीं कहता. It is your endeavor which is going to create the difference, and your endeavor always depends on your learning. and your learning always depends upon your extensive coverage. तो नोट्स क्या करता है, आपको रेडीमेड चीजें आपके सामने रख दिया, प्रिंटेड मटेरियल तैयार है, ले लीजिएगा. बट द थिंग इज, आई ऑलवेज एम्फेसिस गो थ्रू द बुक्स. देन वही प्रिंटेड मटेरियल आपको लगेगा, वाओ व्हाट अ ब्यूटीफुल प्रिंटेड मटेरियल दिस इज. एंड वंस यू गो थ्रू द प्रिंटेड मटेरियल, आपको लगा अच्छा ये क्यों है, अगला पैराग्राफ इससे रिलेटेड नहीं है, ऐसा क्यों लिखा गया, क्योंकि वो लिखा ही गया है ये जानते हुए कि मैं इतना जान रहा हूं, नेक्स्ट पैराग्राफ इज रिलेटेड विद समथिंग एल्स. दैट्स व्हाई आई ऑलवेज रिकमेंड रीड द टेक्स्ट बुक. देयर इज नो अल्टरनेटिव. दोज हु रेड द टेक्स्ट बुक, they performed excellent without any doubt. And there are many students of mine, the third ranker Junaid, Srishti Deshmukh, she was my student in Bhopal KSG. Many more are there. Lipi Nagesh this year, and this 141 rank, I forget the name, with geography. So means they performed well because they read their basic books, then notes. Basic books, reading of basic books, come to the class, discussion. तब वो जो नोट्स मिलेगा ना, तो आपको लगेगा वाओ. और ऐसे में प्रिंटेड मटेरियल आपको दे दूं, कहूं ये पढ़ लेना, हो जाएगा, बड़ा मुश्किल है बेटे. That's why I always prefer class notes and textbook. I give you the material on Telegram, जहां कहोगे वहां दे दूंगा. उसका कोई जवाब ही नहीं है सर. देयर इज नो मीन्स क्लास नोट्स से अच्छा कुछ हो ही नहीं सकता. बट क्लास नोट्स भी कब, व्हेन यू अंडरस्टैंड द टॉपिक एंड ऑल द सब्जेक्ट, नियर बाई सब्जेक्ट, तब तो आपको वही क्लास नोट्स आपको कुछ समय अच्छा लगता है, 6 महीने बाद खोलते हो तो लगता है ये क्या लिख दिया मैंने. बट बुक्स विल गिव यू द इंटायर आइडिया, तब वही चीजें आपको समझ में आएंगी और बेहतर समझ में. दैट्स व्हाई आई ऑलवेज प्रेफर दिस. ओके. Further, this Indian geography, you are going to have that book, and all the thing will be covered in that very one book. Apart from it, you require an atlas, and this atlas is, you can go for Oxford student, one atlas, और ब्लैक स्वान, कोई भी एटलस आपके पास हो, दोनों में से चलेगा. कभी कभी देयर इज एन एटलस विच इज वेरी गुड एटलस, ज्योग्राफी थ्रू मैप्स. बाय के सिद्धार्थ सर, बाय Shri K. Siddhartha sir. This book was very relevant when the location was asked in your both the papers, world location. But in paper 1, there is no question related with the location of the world. The world, this location question is actually part of paper 1. That is of 20 marks question. And that is related with India and Indian geography. So earlier this book was recommended by all teachers, and we were preparing for examination at that very time. It is the part of our bookshelf, not only bookshelf, पढ़ते भी थे हम लोग. But the thing is कि half of the thing which has been mentioned in this book is now of no use. Not I'm saying no use, but indeed the perspective has been changed, क्योंकि मेंस के पेपर में वो पार्ट है ही नहीं, लोकेशन. तो इंडियन ज्योग्राफी के लोकेशन के लिए ये आप ले सकते हो, और नहीं भी लोगे तो आई हैव सो मेनी प्लेसेस, मेरे पास कंपाइलेशन है. आई विल प्रोवाइड दैट प्लेस एज वेल एज आई विल गो विथ मैप वर्क, एंड दैट विल बी प्रिपेयर्ड. तो यू कैन टेक दिस आर नॉट, बट यू मस्ट हैव these either of one of the 8 lists. So this is the resource which is required for you. 2 more things I would like to add over here. For regional planning, for political issue, and for what you can say, transport, communication, trade, pipeline, etc., there is a book that is called as India Yearbook. India Yearbook It is a publication of Government of India every year in February and March. Every year, this book has been published and containing all the important sector of India. Okay. This is must-read book because it contains recent data. Not only recent, but authentic data. Authentic why? Because Government of India. Okay. So this India yearbook, ये भी आपको लेना होगा. Every year it comes in February and March. तो जिस साल आपको देना है मीन्स उस साल के फरवरी मार्च में इसको ले लीजिएगा. तैयारी करने के लिए आप पिछले साल की भी ले सकते हैं. There is slight change in the data. Rest of the material is same. So you are going to have this book. Apart from it, I suggest you 2 magazines. One is योजना. योजना जो आप जनरल स्टडीज में पढ़ते हो. And there is another magazine, Geography and You. इसमें हम लोग थोड़ी सी जिम्मेदारियां बांट लेंगे. मेरा रिक्वेस्ट रहेगा कि जनरल स्टडीज में आपको जरूरत है तो आप योजना पढ़ लेना. मैं इसे सब्सटेंशिएट कर दूंगा. ये मैं पढ़ूंगा और इसमें जो भी रिसेंट इश्यूज होंगे वो मैं आपको अपडेट कर दूंगा. ठीक है. आपका मन करेगा तो यू कैन गो फॉर इट, बट आई सजेस्ट यू जस्ट स्टिक टू योजना सो दैट कि आपके जनरल स्टडीज में भी देयर आर सो मेनी क्वेश्चन विच इज डायरेक्ट क्वेश्चन फ्रॉम योजना, वहां से आप काम कर सकें. एंड दिस विल बी माई रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी एंड दिस इज हाउ वी विल कंप्लीट द एंटायर सिलेबस in approximately 300 to 340 hours. This is all about the discussion, our orientation, how we are going to have this geography, what are the strategy. Indeed, you need to have previous year question paper, and the most important aspect of this preparation is your writing skill practice. In writing the answer, especially in geography, you need to give so many figures as well as map. So you need to learn how to prepare the map making. ठीक है? So you require figures as well as map for writing the answer. Okay? तो आपको मैप बनाना होगा इंडिया का भी, एंड यू नीड टू क्रिएट वर्ल्ड मैप, और कभी कभी सेक्टोरल मैप भी बनाना पड़ सकता है. जैसे आप डोकलैम पे लिख रहे हो इंटरनेशनल रिलेशन का क्वेश्चन एंड यू शो द डोकलैम वेयर इट इज सिचुएटेड. यू आर राइटिंग समथिंग अबाउट काला पानी डिस्प्यूट, लिम्पियाधुरा काला पानी डिस्प्यूट. सो इफ यू शो दैट एरिया by creating map, even in your international relation question, your presentation will be better. Are you getting my point? So ये जो map making है ये आपको सीखना होगा, and within 10 seconds you must be capable of creating world map as well as map of India. और ये ऐसे नहीं आएगा. You need to go for practice. कई बार करना practice, आ जाएगा. इससे ज्यादा टाइम आपको नहीं मिलेगा मैप बनाने के लिए. ऐसा नहीं पता चले 2-3 मिनट में मैप बनाया सुंदर सा, इतना टाइम नहीं है. So you require this idea also. Apart from it, you also have the tendency to create some, what you can say, chart, flow chart, bar diagram, pie chart for the better presentation. And these things will be of very much use once you discuss the geography optional in detail. So you must have the idea how to make it. And I also discuss in the class with the example graph making. This graph is also important. Graph and curves. You need to understand the graph and curves. Some understanding should be there. How this temperature and pressure is having a relationship. Is there any graph possible over there? Are this change in the salinity once you go down in the ocean? Is there change in salinity can be represented in form of graph? If it is represented in form of graph, so how this graph will look like? Change in density of water, is it represented in form of graph? Answer is yes. So we can have these idea also, and these idea will give you some smartness over other subjects. यहाँ possible है, possible हर जगह है, but आपको सीखना है, तब आप अपने presentation को you can make it more beautiful, and then go for writing skill development, and that will be also the part of our curriculum. So whenever we are going to complete, suppose that geomorphology, the previous year question paper discussion will be the part that will be discussed, whatever the last 10-year question paper. And if there will be any important question, as well as probable question also, that will be discussed over here, so that you are able to write previous year question paper, as well as you are ready to tackle the future questions. So this will be the means I adapt to this strategy. And I find this strategy very successful in deciphering and delivering the subject, as well as learning point of view. And I will always be there for you for 24/7. I will give my telegram and all that. You can send me your answers. I will get back on it with the improvement, the kind of improvement you should inculcate in your answer that will fetch more marks. So this is all about from my side. Thank you very much. If you have any question, you can raise. बिल्कुल, आप सिलेबस अब देखिएगा, ये मैं आपको दे दूंगा, क्लास से ले लीजिएगा, एंड गो थ्रू द कंपैरिजन, मेंस, प्रीलिम्स और ये, और केवल ज्योग्राफी मत देखिएगा। फिर मैं कह रहा हूं, सी सोशल इशू, सी इन्वायरमेंट एंड इकोलॉजी, और देख लीजिएगा, रंग दीजिएगा कितना पार्ट है जो उधर मिलेगा आपको। मैंने कम बताया है, यू विल गेट मोर। Obviously, answer require introduction, main body, and conclusion. And to write the introduction, you must have the understanding what exactly the demand is. Yes, there will be same approach. Indeed, in optional, you require some kind of detailed information. तो लेकिन अब छोटे क्वेश्चन आ रहे हैं, हाँ, तो accordingly you need to manage. Now the answer is not of 600 words; it is smaller answers. That's why it is hard to write. So now the answers will be smaller, but indeed it is going to be, what you can say, easy once you have the content in your mind and the concept. Try to use less words and create more impact. And that can only be possible when you have learned the entire subject, because each subject is having certain shell points, certain terminology which is intrinsic to that very subject. And those terminology are going to be a kind of entire paragraph. If I write one word, let me tell you. Suppose that I'm writing bio, geo, chemical, cycle. This is one word. And this is representing entire class. Biogeochemical cycle. I can speak more than 3 hours on this biogeochemical cycle. So it is going to be a shell word. Kab सीखोगे ये? Once you go through the subject, you understand there will be 2 types of cycle. One is going to be rock cycle, another one is going to be gaseous cycle. Rock cycle include sulfur cycle, phosphorus cycle. The gaseous cycle include carbon dioxide cycle, water cycle, nitrogen cycle, isn't it? तो अलग अलग cycles चल रही हैं. अब इस पे एक एक को आप लेकर के you can explain it. So biogeochemical cycle is responsible for maintaining the soil mineral pool. If I speak these 3 words I am actually talking about the entire chapter. The person who is understanding biogeochemical cycle, replenishing soil pool, this one line is just the entire chapter. उसके दिमाग में पूरा चैप्टर घूम जाएगा कि oh, he is talking about biogeochemical cycle, which is including this rock cycle, that gaseous cycle, sulfur cycle, phosphorus cycle, that carbon cycle, nitrogen cycle, and all. That means this is a shell point for you. If you write something, it will replace many words. And once you have this kind of understanding of that very subject, that you are having the shell points, you can reduce your word limit. Because those shell points are self-explanatory. ठीक है? तो उसको भी सीखेंगे हम लोग. हर सब्जेक्ट जो पूरा करेंगे, हर टॉपिक, we will learn about the shell points associated with those subject की ऐसे कौन कौन से shell point, जैसे मैं क्लास में आपको बताता भी हूँ. एक चैप्टर पूरा करने के बाद I used to write those topic और पूछता हूँ कि इनमें से आपने क्या नहीं सीखा वो बताइए, उस पर डिस्कशन करूँ. You find this ना? Those are the shell points. एंड आपने लास्ट में अगर लिखा है किसी चैप्टर के दीज आर 5-6 पॉइंट्स, और जब आप रिवीजन करोगे ना, यू फाइंड, जैसे आज के ही चैप्टर में, इफ यू फाइंड द सन स्पॉट साइकिल, सोलर स्टॉर्म, सोलर विंड इंपैक्ट्स, टेलीकम्युनिकेशन डिसरप्शन, तो अगर इफ यू हैव दिस 5-6 टॉपिक आपने केवल देख भर लिया तो आपको पूरी कहानी उधर पता है. यू रिवाइज्ड इट. द सेम बुक you are reading in 1 month, and once you read it many times, it will be revised in 2-3 hours. कैसे हो जाता है? हम लोग हमेशा क्लास के पहले 10 मिनट जो कुछ पढ़ाना है, बिना कुछ ले आए हाथ में, हम देख के आते हैं हमेशा, जस्ट टू रिमेंबर दोज पॉइंट, कि वो सारी पॉइंट्स हमको एक बार मिल जाए, फिर हम कहानी शुरू कर देते हैं. क्योंकि बाकी चीजें तो है यहाँ पे, वही आपको भी करना है. ठीक है? सो अप्रोच विल बी सेम. और कोई सवाल? कोई सवाल भाई? ऑनलाइन वाले बच्चे भी हैं हमारे साथ. इज देयर एनी क्वेरी फ्रॉम ऑनलाइन? माई वॉइस वॉज नॉट ऑडिबल. अरे, am I audible or not? The class will be online mode, and whenever I will be in Bhubaneshwar, you people are cordially invited to have the discussion. और मैं लगभग हर महीने आऊंगा. डाउन टू अर्थ मैगजीन बेटे पढ़ सकते हो, अच्छी किताब है, लेकिन वही बात है कि आपके पास समय हो तो पढ़ना. नहीं, मैंने डाउन टू अर्थ इसीलिए मेंशन भी नहीं किया, वो मेरा पार्ट है, मैं पढ़ के बताऊंगा आपको. वहां से कुछ अगर मुझे लगा कि दीज आर द आर्टिकल जो इंपॉर्टेंट है आपके लिए, आई विल गिव यू द स्नैपशॉट, आई विल गिव यू द फोटोकॉपी, कुछ कर लेंगे ऐसा, या आई विल डिस्कस दैट वेरी टॉपिक इन डिटेल. तो आपको थोड़ा बर्डन भी तो कम रखना है, क्योंकि आपको तो बाकी चीजें भी पढ़नी है ना ऑप्शनल के अलावा, तो कुछ काम. यस, क्लास विल बी ऑन ऑनलाइन मोड, and in online mode you will follow me, you can ask question with me at the same time. That will be a Zoom meeting class, and it will be just in a ease of yours. आप घर में बैठ करके आराम से टेबल चेयर पे बातचीत करेंगे हम लोग, जैसे अभी बात कर रहे हैं. एंड आई विल, अरे ये तो उल्टा आपको दिखाई पड़ रहा है क्या, द इमेज ऑफ दिस सिलेबस, क्योंकि मुझे ये उल्टा दिखाई पड़ रहा है. अच्छा, और कोई सवाल है आपके तो पूछ सकते हैं बेटे. ओके, इमेज इज फाइन, देन इट्स ओके. यू कैन जस्ट, मेरी किसी भी बात का भरोसा मत करना, कंपेयर कर लेना पहले सिलेबस का. ठीक है? ऑलवेज कंपेयर द थिंग, कि ये सर जो बोल के गए हैं, ये कहीं ज्योग्राफी पढ़ाने के चक्कर में तो नहीं बोल रहे हैं, अपने फायदे के लिए तो नहीं बोल रहे हैं. नहीं, आप पहले कंपेयर करना, एंड देन यू डिसाइड कि क्या ये बात सही है. प्रीवियस ईयर के क्वेश्चन पेपर देखना, एंड यू विल फाइंड दोज थिंग्स विच आई मेंशन वाज द मिनिमम विच यू विल गेट after the preparation of this topic, this geography. Savindra Singh, Majid Hussain, Oxford Atlas is enough. I also talk about some more book like the Models and Theory, R.P. Chandana, and one more book that is Khullar. That is enough. Geographical thoughts मुझे छोड़ देना. Geographical thoughts, R.D. Dixit वैसे मैं prescribe करता हूँ. R.D. Dixit is good. And that is also going to be synced with your state PCS syllabus. Okay, state PCS syllabus also. Yes, that is a special, that is a state PCS special. वो बहुत ज्यादा अंतर नहीं होता. साइक्लोन की बात नहीं करेंगे क्या? उड़ीसा की बात करेंगे तो बहुत कुछ मिलता जुलता है. जब इंडस्ट्री और लोकेशन की बात करेंगे, मिनरल, so that is also the part. There will be some region specific. Yes, geography related with Odisha. There is some special book which is present in any book stall over here, जहां से हम उसके बारे में भी चर्चा कर लेंगे. It's not big thing. Once you have the entire idea, so some specific study can be done within 5-10 hours. It will be completed. ठीक है, फैक्ट फाइल ही तो देखना रहेगा. अदरवाइज पॉपुलेशन आप उड़ीसा का देखोगे, फॉरेस्ट आपने उड़ीसा का देखा ही है, इंडस्ट्रीज एंड मिनरल रिसोर्सेज, साइक्लोन्स, नेचुरल डिजास्टर, ये सब कुछ आपने देखा हुआ है. थोड़ा स्पेसिफिक स्टडी विल बी डन. सो शैल वी स्टॉप हियर? क्या और कोई सवाल है आपके? दैट विल बी डिसाइडेड बाय द मैनेजमेंट कि कब से शुरू होगा वो बताएंगे. एंड जल्दी ही शुरू करेंगे हम लोग. देयर विल बी, आई थिंक, 5-day class in a week. 2 hour to 3 hour classes will be there, and mostly it is going to be at noon. जब आप क्लास खत्म करके आराम से घर पे रहोगे, so that very time, that will be the class timing. And this class timing can be, what you can say, flexible for me as well as you also. And when you are having holiday, तो बताना, उस दिन थोड़ा और ज्यादा बैठ लेंगे. नहीं, ऑनलाइन चलेगा. आप अगर नहीं आओगे तो रिकॉर्डेड आप देखना. बट द थिंग इज, ऑनलाइन चलेगा एंड आई प्रेफर कि रहो वहां पे. तब तो पूछोगे ना कि सर ये नहीं समझ में, बताइए. सो आई विल डिस्कस. रिकॉर्डेड लेना है तो फिर मजा क्या है? हाँ, तब उस केस में यू आर गोइंग टू हैव द वीडियो. यू विल बी हैव द एक्सेस ऑफ वीडियो. वहां आपको मिल जाएंगे वीडियो. ठीक है, शैल वी स्टॉप हियर? थैंक यू वेरी मच. So thank you everyone. I'm signing off.